Hi, my name's Vicki Brooke, and I'm representing the Subminimum Wage to Competitive Integrated Employment, or the SWITChy Project, the Illinois SWITChy Project. So today I'd like to talk for a while about the role of the employment specialist in long-term supports and really what can families expect from that individual. Well, from the very beginning, that employment specialist, as they got involved with your family, has provided support services in the community, helping them identify maybe career options, helping them find a job, and then securing that job and going on the job site with them to help them learn the job. So this individual will continue to provide that level of support both at and away from the job site. So even after the individual, once they're in long-term supports, which means they have gotten a job and they've been quote unquote stabilized on the job. They know their job, they're running their job, the employer's happy with their work. So the employment specialist who might have been there maybe full time with your family member has now faded from the job site. But they will continue to provide a level of support throughout their employment tenure. And that support can be both at the job site and, as I said, away from the job site. So your family member will not be the only individual on this individual's caseload. They could have 20, 25, probably not more than 30 um, other clients on their caseload. And for some individuals, they will be providing, helping them do assess what their interests, wants, and desires are. And maybe somebody else, another client that they're working with, they're doing instruction at a job site. And maybe a third client, they're helping them arrange transportation. So they will continue to provide services to um, your family member as a new employee, but they won't be providing the support services themselves. What they'll be doing is coordinating support services. So, for example, your individual needs additional supports around Social Security benefits. While the employment specialist will not be delivering that particular service him or herself, the employment specialist will make sure that your family member is meeting with a Social Security expert. And that Social Security expert will sit down with the family and do a written benefits analysis to identify what the impact of employment is on the federal benefits that the individual receives. So again, the employment specialist is not providing that services, but they're coordinating and making sure the individual is accessing those services. If an individual needs to receive mental health services, the employment specialist is not providing that services. Rather, they're going to help them identify where to get that service and make sure that they are connected to receive that service. Again, it's a very important role that they provide. They provide the coordination of support services because lots of things happen after after you get secured in our job and everything's going fine. Other things happen in our life. Maybe they need to move out and find a new apartment. The employment specialist could help provide coordination of those residential service options. Another area where they provide services that we don't talk a lot about, but does happen, is that they help the new employee or your family member understand that they are directing their own support services. So maybe for the first time ever, that they are in charge of their support services. So the employment specialist really works with them to express what their likes or dislikes are, what their interests are, just to help them, give them a voice to let them know that they are directing their support services. It's not anybody else, it's them. So making sure that they understand that that is a role that for them, it's their job and their support services. So letting them know that they're in charge and that we all kind of work for them. And the last area that I just wanted to touch on briefly is career advancement. You know, it's funny, it's not just because the individual has a disability and gets a job, we're not all like clapping our hands and saying, "Yay, that's awesome. They're going to stay in that job for the rest of their life." No, like anybody else, they have that job and maybe they really love it and they do want to stay in it for a long time. But maybe they're also finding some other interests that they have they didn't know was available. Maybe the career advancement is going to come in the form of another job within that same business. And maybe they've looked at that job and they want the employment specialist help in how to secure that particular job within the company. The employment specialist will help do that. But they may also have an interest in a whole different career field, which the employment specialist would also support. If you're not happy in your job, eventually you're going to lose your job. So staying on top of that conversation is an important role that the employment specialist will provide. Discussing their satisfaction, maybe their new interests, um, and trying to explore some other options. So just in summary, the employment specialist wears many hats. They play lots of roles with lots of different people because they will continue that relationship with the employer, maybe coworkers, um, your family member, the support team that's associated with your family. So and so multiply that times 25 other clients. So they wear lots of different hats with lots of different people. Um, but their job really is not just supporting people to get a job. Their job is to really support the long-term support services so that the individual has long-term competitive integrated employment, whether it's at their first job or a second job or a third job. That is their role, is to provide long-term support services. Thank you.